The living as magic journey. There's a difference between practicing magic and living as magic. Most people still treat magic like a performance, a ritual, a moment, a spell you do on the weekend when you're ready to feel powerful again. But when you live as magic, you become the source of the life that you are creating. You stop outsourcing your power. You stop waiting for signs. You realize that you are the one that opens the portal. Welcome to Season 2 of the Soul Potential CEO podcast. I am going to embark on a journey of my biggest vision, my biggest idea about my work, which is the desire to live as magic. Each short episode will be a transmission coded to unlock the part of you that already knows you're not here to perform magic, you're here to become it. Because once you live as it, everything changes. Your power, your purpose, your path. If you are ready to turn your remembering of magic into reality, join me on this next chapter or apply to be a part of the Guild, a private society for soul-first creators, energy-informed entrepreneurs, and wizards whose sparkling potential is our North Star, where mastery is the path we walk. This is your invitation to the initiation of a lifetime. If you're like me and love to be a wizard of creation, you'll want to stay close. So let's begin with the vision. If humanity remembered how to live as magic, not just perform it, not just think about it, but actually build their lives from it, the entire architecture of reality would change. Our systems would collapse, but they would collapse into truth. Time would bend, but it would bend towards our inner rhythm, not pressure. Money would flow, but only where our soul follows its truth. And we would stop trying to become something and start remembering what we already are. There's a particular pathway to this journey, a structured breakdown, a series of precise shifts, and maybe you are in the position where you can see and recognize the places in your life where these cracks begin to show. Each and every one of these shifts have been woven into the teachings that I've developed over the years. As someone who is committed to this practice, I can tell you that within each of these dimensions of self lives a massive potential for transformation. So let's look at this conversation from 3 angles: collectively, personally, and relationally. Collectively, systems of control would disintegrate. Living as magic dissolves dependency. When people reclaim their inner authority, they stop outsourcing their power to governments, to gurus, to traditions, or templates. Systems that rely on fear, shame, or saviorism begin to collapse, not because we fight against them, but because they're no longer necessary and our magic becomes more true. The second shift is the collapse of time-based oppression. Linear time is an illusion that sustains urgency, scarcity, burnout, and guilt. When you live as magic, you enter cyclical time. You surf time like a tide, riding energetic waves, never forcing output. You remember that stillness creates as much as speed. The third shift is a renaissance of living art. In industrial timelines, we built for profit and productivity. In a new world where magic is who we are, we build for beauty, frequency, and aliveness. Cities become temples, homes become sanctuaries, brands become spells. Creation stops being commodified and starts being consecrated. We also learn how to manage consumption and focus our attention into areas that truly matter for ourselves and for the connections that we have with others. In personal and energetic shifts, intuition as infrastructure comes online as the fourth. Magic is not just felt, it's engineered intentionally through us. Living as magic means treating sensation as data. and desire as a divine design. Your nervous system becomes the inner compass, strengthened through action, confidence, and a full overhaul of who you truly are. You stop doubting your knowing and you start building from it. The fifth shift is money as a mirror of magic. When you live as magic, money is no longer the goal. It's the call and response of abundance and truth in your life. It flows in response to resonance and coherence. Your business stops being a hustle machine and starts becoming a match. Wealth becomes the natural byproduct of alignment. The sixth shift is death is recontextualized. So, when we stop fearing death and start integrating living in the now, every identity you shed becomes a doorway. Living as magic makes you intimate with impermanence. And when you stop clinging to and start co creating with cycles of loss, change, and rebirth, you arrive to the place where chaos and alchemy is the fuel for every next level. When it comes to relational shifts, identity becomes fluid. So, this is a big one. What if you're not here to find yourself? You're here to remember your codes and express different versions of you as needed. The desperation of an uncorrected ego clinging to what is right and what is wrong and what is true and what is false in all timelines, archetypes, and roles become tools for art, not prisons of performance. The eighth shift is relationships become sovereign and spellbound. When you live as magic, love is a co-creation, not a contract, not a rejection, not avoidance, not addiction, not a performance for belonging. You end up in a place where you don't need others to regulate you. Partnership becomes a playground, not a place to reenact your wounds. And finally, the ninth shift is that manifestation becomes a byproduct of living. No more efforting, no more scripting or forcing. You are so tuned into your essence that your field naturally reorders the sequence of reality around you. Life orbits around your desire. You find yourself in right relationship to universal law because you have spent the time building the internal infrastructure to create your own rules. Living as magic means becoming the source that you've been seeking. The guru, the guide, the algorithm, you dissolve them because you are the rhythm, you are the revelation. This is the end of spiritual performance and the beginning of a species that finally remembers what it came here to do: create worlds.